Sex sells, but does Amazon allow you to use the term sex in your title or your keywords? I know this is a weird topic. My name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how that term can and cannot be used officially. So before I do that, I want to set up how this could impact a listing. So this is a listing for rope. It has nothing to do with sex, obviously. However, we had a product review come in on this listing. They even put a picture, and showed how they were tying up something a little busty there. And this particular review right here, which mentioned some weird keywords, which I won't read out loud, and it led to this listing being marked as adult. And that's why it's topical to our conversation today. If you put the word sex in your title or in your keywords, I almost guarantee that you are going to have Amazon flag your listing as an adult type product. And in the case of this listing, we didn't even come anywhere near close to that. And a customer left a product review, and it led to the listing being marked as adult. So that's why this is so important. That you understand. Right now, you could come up with dozens of examples of products where it'd be completely appropriate to use the gender term sex. But if you do it in a way that Amazon can't tell the difference between how you're using that phrase versus the genderization of using that phrase, Amazon is going to use robots to automatically classify your product as an adult type product. So simply put, I would not put the word sex in your title or in your keywords. But I know some of you are tempted to put in temptatious words into your search term field like this. And I'm telling you that the search term field now has greater impact to the classification of your listing than it ever has before. So putting the word sex into the search term field would almost guaranteeingly lead to your item being marked as adult, and that will mean that there is no advertising for your listing. But what about advertising? So I could not come up with a great example to show that would be appropriate here. So I typed in unisex. I was just kind of curious to show what this would look like in search results. So you got unisex baby stuff, and then a bunch of random beauty products showing up, which I kind of thought was interesting. I was like, why would these show up for the term unisex? It's probably coming in off a broad match of the sex term, but the point I'm trying to make with this particular example is these items are probably advertising on sex-related keywords, but are not going to have any problems being marked as adult. And that's because when it comes to the PPC keywords, it's completely safe to use whatever you want. I've never once had an instance where we used something in the PPC targeting that caused a problem with the catalog detail page. The robots do not crawl advertising for catalog listing constraints, right? Like there's, if we did a control F for the term sex on this listing, it doesn't come up, right? So there's nothing that's going to cause something from an advertisement leading to the detail page. But as I did show you on today's video, a product review will. So when Amazon claims sometimes that they don't index things like A+ content or product reviews, clearly they do, right? Like why would a unisex or why would something like a rope get flagged for adult off a product review if it wasn't being indexed, right? So there's just some logic behind that. So if we go over to the advertising section, if you were to type in sex, you could see a list of things that come up, right? You got swimsuits and outfits and clubs and tops and clothing related things. There are a few risky things like pills that show up, but for the most part, even a little bit of Spanish right down there. But for the most part, these are pretty safe autocompletes coming up in Amazon's system. So I think it's completely safe to use this phrase in the back end and you'll be just fine on keyword targeting. I also think that you could product target cursory products without having any crossover challenges. So hopefully you found this video helpful. I mean, sometimes there's a lot of random things that could come up when you're an Amazon seller, right? Like, as a seller of a rope, nobody ever would have thought that they would be dealing with this, right? So there's somebody out there who's watched this video that this is really resonating with. Most of you are going to like raise your eyebrows and be like, why did I cover this topic? I get it. That's going to happen too. But the reason I shot this video is because my entire organization was having a conversation about it today, because there was a client that wanted to include the phrase in their keywords. And I was like, I wouldn't recommend it. It's going to yank the listing. It's going to mark it as adult and ban ads. So clearly there are some sort of challenges with this. And whether you sell underwear, whether you sell cursory other products where people just want to feel sexy, be very careful on which phrasing you use on your listings, because it does have an impact. For other videos like this, other catalog constraints, click on this playlist here and feel free to leave me a comment with whatever random scenario you've ran into. Did you get a listing yanked for a word? Listing banned from advertising for using a keyword or a phrase? I'd love to hear about it. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy.